Hi there, darkmindedsith here. Welcome back to more Banjo-Tooie. We are starting things up today in the Central Cavern. And today's going to be a riveting video. By riveting, I mean switching back and forth to solo banjo and solo kazooie about 816 times. Which is my favorite part of the game. So to start off, I recommend that little entrance up there. So, let's grab the springy step shoes, and not get hit by hot dogs, or flowers, or candy canes. There we go. And then we're going to collect this note, and as I talked about a little bit last video, that'll serve as a breadcrumb. I mean, you could just remember where you've been, but it helps out. You can look at that entrance we just went through and think, oh, I already went through there because I collected the note. So. Alright, let's hatch an egg. Be very upset about it. Check it out, it is another float. No, anyway. Okay, so now we need to go grab Banjo and ring him up here to use the floatum. Yay, it's fun. We're gonna go through this blue entrance down here. And not get hit by a sausage, or a candy cane, or a honeycomb. And collect the note. But first, we have a pansy that dies to a book bag. And we have Mumbo Skull, and he is in blue spirit this time. So what is in here? We're going to take a quick little stop. Oh. Okay, no way. That's too easy. There's got to be a catch. You're a Minjo. You're not a Minjo? You're a Jinjo! What? Yeah, oddly enough. Yeah. You'd think that'd be a Minjo because of how simple it is, but nope. One of our Jinjos is right there. Now there is a reason for that, but we'll get into that later on. With that also completed the Red family. This is actually going to be a pretty bittersweet level overall, because a lot of our final objectives are going to come to an end here. Especially the Jinjos. We will be wrapping up all of the Jinjo families in this world. Because we've only got a few more Jinjos left, and then that'll be it for the whole Jinjo family. Which is wonderful, but there's no denying it is kind of bittersweet. We've had fun reuniting all these families and finding Jinjos under rocks and whatnot. Alright, so let's glide across the skies. I'd say don't look down, but looks like Banjo's almost forced to do that, so. So now we land safely. And we brought Banjo all the way over here for another pansy, but also... Yep. That's it. Aren't you glad you just did that? Aren't you glad Banjo and Kazooie separately worked together to plant a seed? You're happy, aren't you? I'm happy. So yeah, do all that and we plant a seed. Yeah, those are the seeds we got last part. But we can only plant them, can't quite do anything about them yet. But make a little note of it. Also, putting to use our new sack pack. You do want to watch out for those enemies, because when you're hopping on your sack pack, you cannot defend yourself. Yay! This takes us all the way to a Jello castle. Oh my goodness. Look at this, we bounce on it. I love this world. Isn't this just incredible? And there's a Jiggy right in there. Look, Zubba, do what you want, man. You can't ruin this moment. There's a castle made of Jello right in front of me. I don't care if you got me down to 2 health, dude. I'm too excited. And no strings attached, really. Just going there with the shack pack. And that Jiggy is ours. And I'm just going to hang out here for the rest of the Let's Play. I hope you guys enjoy. As awesome as I want to think this is, I can't overlook the fact that this would be incredibly sticky and very messy. In fact, Banjo, you're probably going to spend weeks just plucking jello out of your fur. Yay! We actually get these cutscenes every time we launch from a cannon plant for the first time. After that, it just skips right to the destination. So. Alright, let's take a little rest, both to heal and to take a rest from all that excitement. Alright, back in the central cavern. Let's continue onward with going through these various entrances. That green entrance right there is next, based on like how we're circling around the cavern entrances, but I don't recommend going in that one yet, because it's basically just a dead end. There's nothing we can really do there yet. So I'm going to move on to the next part of the cavern, which is going to be an underwater section. This water doesn't look interesting, so unless this sign gives me some useful information, I'm probably going to ignore this water. Oh, well. Now that he mentions that... Oh, look! A Globo. And oh my god, this is such a sad moment, because this is our last Globo of the game. I had fun listening out for your giggles. Yeah. No more Globos, but they will be in our hearts forever. The game is just a little less magical now. So coming up here, I just want to listen to the music for a little bit. Yeah, I love how Grand Kirkhope changes the world's music just slightly depending on your area. Oh yeah, these. Remember these? Alright. Oh no, I'm sorry. We're gonna drain water onto the entire Isle of Hags. It's gonna be like Wind Waker. Or Tilda. May you drown with Isle of Hags. So where's this water going? Pterodactyl. Oh yeah, remember that world? Water for Dippy! Yay! Oh, he's so happy. Yippee! My pool's full of water! Where did it all come from? Oh, it's like a little puppy. Just drinking water, I love him. Tastes heavenly. Well, it did come from the clouds, Dippy. Did it? You said it wouldn't just drop from the sky. I lied. Oh, I am. Here, take my odd-shaped gold tooth in exchange. Yay! Dippy's happy, so I'm happy forever. And I've also got a jiggy-shaped tooth now. That is going to be my favorite jiggy of all of our jiggies. Now, I went down here, I wanted to try to get a little view of Isle of Hags, but... can't quite see it from there. But I wanted to see if the Clockwork Kazooie thing could fall down there, but no, it can't. And I hurt Banjo in the process, sorry. I have to experiment sometimes, man. Okay, so... Several worlds later, we finally give water to Dippy. And that Jiggy he gave us is actually our last Jiggy for Pterodactyl Land. So all we have there is a Cheeto page, and that'll be it. Dippy is no longer a seeker of beverages. Okay, wait a minute, what? Another Mumbo Skull. What? We already had a Mumbo Skull. What? 2 Mumbos?
This is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them.
Shut up! No one cares about you. Get out of here. Oh boy. 2 Mumbos. Twice the magic. Or maybe Humblewumba has taken over? Or... Oh, a Jinjo. Well, you gotta be a Jinjo, right? No, you're not. Mumbo, are you aware that mysterious creatures like this are in your house? You might want to do something about that. Because I'm sure that's your house, isn't it? I don't know. We're gonna have to find out what that means exactly. More on that later. Okay. So we're just gonna kind of platform a Rooney. Okay, and the second you fly...
Someone's in the air. Defend your Jiggy at all cost.
Yeah. So the first time you fly, the eyeballus Jigium plants will start shooting at you, trying to defend their Jiggy, but... I mean, personally, I've never really had a problem with them hitting me. There's just not enough of them throughout the world for that to really be an issue, but... I guess they wanted to have some kind of downside to getting around flying everywhere, maybe? That's the only thing I can really think of. Alright, collect this note. I just hatched an egg, so we gotta bring Banjo over here to the Flotus Floatum thing later on. But I'm actually gonna stick with the bird for a little while here. So there are a couple of things she can do. I don't know. Is my gliding gonna be enough? Let's take a risk and find out. Oh yeah, we're fine. Yeah, because as you can see, the seeds are actually exclusive to Banjo. Because he keeps them in the backpack. Okay, that just looks ridiculous. What is up with that? He's just flopping around like a dead chicken. I mean, prior to this playthrough, I don't really remember shooting Kazooie across the cannon plants very much. Because those aerial shots of Kazooie on her own just don't look familiar to me. Maybe I just flew around with her all the time instead of using them, but that doesn't matter because a giant trash can. Yeah. Reason why this world is awesome, number 812. A giant trash can. Although I talked about last video how this world is kind of inspired by the idea of a child's fantasy world, but... I don't know. I mean, I guess some kids are into garbage. Don't know if I really was when I was a kid. But I was into mud, as evidenced by this picture. So in here we'll find Oscar. Nah, we'll find a number 4. Well, almost Sesame Street. You know, today's episode is brought to you by the number 4. And of course he had to ruin it by putting a 1 in front of it. 1 blank 4. Yeah, that's what our episode's brought to you by today. So that's another number for Super Stash Deluxe. He should consider himself lucky that I think he's cool enough to call him that. Because normally, I mean, I would just say the frickin' safe, but... Because, I mean, come on, he's a frickin' safe, but... I like him enough to where I'll call him by his full name. Alright, so that's an extra honeycomb piece up on the garbage. And now let's actually go inside the garbage. Jinjo? I mean, I've seen some bad spots for you Jinjos to be, but that's a bad place. But you're actually not a Jinjo, you're a Minjo. So yeah, you deserve to be here. Fish bones. You always see fish bones in, like, cartoons and stuff, but I don't think I've ever seen that ever in my life. Yay, eggs in here. So, this is actually a really interesting place. Well, 1, because it's garbage, but 2, because there's quite a number of interesting things you'll find throughout here. Like, for instance, this milk is milky sour milk, low in calcium. Well, I guess that's why it's in the garbage. But on this thing of milk... Whoa! Look at that. There's no hyphen between Banjo and Kazooie. Rare doesn't even know how to spell their own franchise. Okay, yeah, Tootie's on there too. So, first up, Tootie is not in this game, but furthermore, they even acknowledge it by having her missing on the milk carton. I don't really have a lot of time to talk about Tootie too much and all that, but we'll get to that maybe next video. Because I could probably dedicate a whole video to talking about Tootie, but... And this is a very special moment. The Black family. That was our biggest Jinjo family. 9 members. And they're all now together. That is a big family. I don't know if it's a bunch of roommates. I don't know if it's a mom and dad and 7 kids. I don't know if it's just a bunch of relatives hanging out in the same place, like a full house kind of thing. I don't know. But for now, that's not important. What is important is a can of beans.
a visitor. Guffo doesn't get many visitors in his trash can. I prefer to think of it as an acquired aroma. Perhaps you can help me. I'm facing eviction from a trash can by the health and hygiene department unless I clean the place up. Shall I tell you about the problem? It's these filthy germs that live in here. I've been told to get rid of 50 points worth. Killing red germs is worth 1, green's worth 2, and these nasty blue germs gets 3 points. Will you give it a try? You got 60 seconds to kill 50 points worth. 3, 2, 1, go!
Yay, another one of these things, yay. Alright, another one of these games. Hit a certain amount of things, get a certain amount of points, and you get a Jiggy, blah, blah, blah. And, I mean, you could first think, oh, well, it's kind of interesting because they're germs, but, like, we already kind of had that with Chomposaurus, so... yeah, hit enough of them, get Jiggies and things, so... while I'm doing that, let's talk about Guffo. His name is actually based off of the term guff. It's a British slang for farting, basically. And that's why, you know, not only is he in a trash can, but he is a can of beans. You know, musical fruit, that whole thing. So just play this just like all the other games we've played. Shouldn't be too much trouble. Now the cutscene coming up here when we get the Jiggy, when it appears, it just kind of does it in a weird way. I don't really understand it. It's like the Jiggy appears, but it like cuts away from it and goes to the middle of the trash can. I don't know why the camera does that. It's just kind of weird. But so yeah, here's our newly acquired filthy Jiggy. It looks in perfect condition, but I don't know. It's probably full of germs. So yeah, I'm gonna go take a bath now. It's funny, Banjo needs a bath from the Jello, and now Kazooie needs a bath from the trash can. Boy, is that a beautiful shot of that garbage can. That cinematic aerial shot. It's just, it's beautiful. Okay, back to Banjo. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring Banjo all the way back to this upper part where Kazooie hatched the Floatus Floatium. So, on our journey there, you know, I'm thinking back to that aerial shot of Isle of Hags. There's something about it. I don't see a resemblance.